Patriots and honored guests, we come together this day at our Purple Heart Monument to recognize August 7th as Purple Heart Day, but most important, to pay tribute and to honor the memory of our departed Purple Heart Patriots as well as other veterans. Today our flag is at half-mast in our hearts, in tribute to our comrades who have passed on, some who were members of the military or the Purple Heart, some not. Today we honor and thank all those who have been awarded the Purple Heart Medal, past and present, who have shed their blood in combat in the defense of our country in wars past and present. We thank them for their bravery, courage, commitment in fighting for our country's liberty, freedoms that we hold so dear to our heart. The Purple Heart Medal dates back to August 7, 1782, and was ordered by General Washington and Chief of the Army to his honorable men, as he so stated. He presented these few, a Purple Heart-shaped cloth, in honoring them before all that were under his command. It was called the Honorary Badge of Distinction, later called the Badge of Military Merit. Today we have the Purple Heart Medal, which is presented in the name of the President of the United States, and it remains the same today as it was, and now includes those that were wounded in combat by the enemy. The statement, comrades, to honored guests is very important. True, freedom is not free. For from the beginning of America, it has cost many military and civilian lives, and many sacrifices by them and their families and friends as well. It continues to this today as our young men and women in distant lands fight to keep us free and safe from yet another enemy. We thank them. We should remember them this day as well. May God bless them all. A veteran once told me that there is no greater love or sacrifice that a comrade would give their life for another or for this great country of ours. I sincerely believe this to be true.
Again, good morning, everybody. My name is Mark Hobaika. I serve as the city architect as well as the redevelopment manager for the City of Henderson. And it's truly my pleasure this morning to be here, to be amongst all of you, our veterans, our dignitaries, to dedicate this Purple Heart Plaza this morning. It is going to be hot today, so it's probably 112 right now. I think it'll be 142 by 2. So we're going to get going and hopefully get through this within an hour. And we have a lot of people to recognize as well as some presentations. It is Purple Heart Day, so we're going to have that celebration as well. So this project, where we're all standing here today, was part of a large project here in downtown. It was our Complete Streets project, where we renovated and renewed a great portion of our downtown. You can see the improvements that are here: landscaping, sidewalks, the street lights, the lights in our trees, the music we have in this area. So it was all part of a bigger project that was funded by the RTC as well as funded by the redevelopment agency. So this park right here was a good portion money that was from the redevelopment agency. So we're very proud of that as a redevelopment manager. Again, I'm very honored to be here. It was a partnership with our City of Henderson staff, redevelopment, military order of the Purple Heart 730, the design team with CA Group and Stan Southwick, as well as our general contractor, Las Vegas Paving, and all of the City of Henderson staff in engineering and parks, planning, and all who were part of this. You know who you are out there. I don't want to say everybody's names, but thank you. It took a team and a true partnership to make this project happen here where we stand today. So I have a few things to say to start this off. As I said, I'm truly honored to stand before you here today and to support this dedication of this plaza. First of all, I wanted to thank the mayor and our city council for allowing this project to happen and allowing redevelopment funding to be spent to build this project. To the men and women who have defended our freedom throughout the decades, and for those who continue to do so today, And for those who gave the ultimate sacrifice, I truly salute you today. To say the least, I am extremely proud of our veterans, but especially one veteran in particular, my father. So even though he passed away in 2014 at the age of 91, he still stands atop of my list of heroes. He was a frontline radio operator in World War II and put his life at risk numerous times while going ahead of the troops to radio back the position of the Nazis. He held the rank of sergeant in the Army, fought battles at the beach of Omaha, Normandy, across Central Europe, and in the infamous Battle of the Bulge. He marched and paraded through Paris after they liberated the city, and he received the Bronze Star for his heroics, saving some of his men, as well as the Good Conduct Medal for his superior service. You know, he almost didn't make it through that war, like so many people who have served, and those who obviously received the Purple Heart Medal, who are here today. But for him, I think his success in surviving that war, World War II, was partly because he was a Christian, devout Catholic, and he wore across his neck a cross every day, as well as in his shirt pocket a Holy Bible. So it's strange to say, but that Bible kind of saved his life. And you may ask, is that a miracle? How did that Bible save his life? Did Jesus come down and take him to freedom? Well, kind of. And let me tell you what happened here. It's a short little story. You see, that Bible was very small. It sat in his shirt pocket right over his heart. It was protected by a metal front and back cover. And that Bible ultimately stopped a bullet that was headed for his heart. So I think God did have something to do with that, and allowing him to come back home and to meet the woman of his dreams, my mother. And they had 7 children, yes, 7, and I'm the youngest of that 7.
And I'm a retired aviation warrant officer, 25 years, flying helicopters, 2 tours in Vietnam, Grenada, and Desert Storm. And I'm honored to be here today. Yeah, thank you. All right, uncover, please. Dear Heavenly Father, we come in your holy name. We thank you for those who serve our military and paramilitary forces, who are willing to give their life, limb, and mind in order that we be here today to celebrate the ribbon cutting of this wonderful Purple Heart Plaza open to the public. Enable us to continue to teach the people of our nation in order that we realize the blessing of freedom which they have and enjoy it with fear and favor. Grant each of us the grace which we need to display daily prayer. Give us thanks for all you have given us as a nation and people. We ask that you protect this currently developed in harm's way, protect them from and bring them home safely to their families. We ask this in God's prayer and believe in your holy name. Amen.
This is a really special event today, and it's a long time coming too. On behalf of the City of Henderson, it is my great honor to welcome you today to the dedication of the Henderson Purple Heart Plaza. As Henderson City Councilwoman for Ward 1, I have worked alongside the Mayor and my fellow council members Dan Shaw, John Mars, and Dan Stewart, as well as with the staff of the Henderson Redevelopment Agency, the members of the Purple Heart Chapter 730 organization, the Henderson Public Works Parks and Recreation Department, and many of you to ensure that this monument to freedom and sacrifice would become a reality. I would like to acknowledge and congratulate several people in the audience whose assistance, vision, and dedication have been indispensable to the completion of this memorial park, including Kate Miller, Director of the Nevada Department of Veterans Services, Daniel Peterson, Purple Heart Chapter 730 Commander, Rob Herr, Assistant City Manager and Chief Infrastructure Officer, and Henderson Redevelopment Agency Manager Mark Hobaika. In addition, I would like to thank all the friends and families of these brave servicemen and women who supported this project from the beginning. And most importantly, I would like to publicly thank our American heroes who earned the Purple Heart Award in defense of the United States of America. Their bravery, commitment, and patriotism will forever be honored in Henderson Purple Heart Plaza. And it is my hope that this site will inspire others to live their lives with as much honor and commitment to service. By honoring these extraordinary servicemen and women who were awarded the United States Purple Heart Military Decoration, we are following a long and distinguished tradition. In fact, our dedication date was chosen because today is National Purple Heart Day. Yes. And same thing as Mark, and I'm sure with all of you, we all have a special story in our own families. And if you would indulge me, I'd like to read a little newspaper article dated back from 1966. It says, Flushing man earns Bronze Star. This is from the Great Lakes Naval Training Center. It says a Navy, see if I can read this, because as you get older, you have to step back a little bit. A Navy hospital corpsman from Flushing, Michigan, lost his right eye in a mine explosion in Vietnam, December 10, 1965. Ignoring his own injuries, he treated the wounded Marines. Thursday, hospital corpsman, second class, Donald E. McCurdy, 36, son of Mrs. Evelyn C. McCurdy, of 412 Luce Avenue, Flushing, Michigan. That's when they used to put your addresses in the newspaper. Was presented the Bronze Star with V for Valor. Earlier, he received the Purple Heart. The awards were made by Rear Admiral Howard A. Yeager, Commandant of the 9th Naval District. The citation credited McCurdy with contributing to saving the lives of his company commander and a Vietnamese civilian who were both critically wounded. While McCurdy was stationed in Vietnam, his wife and 4 children lived with his mother in Flushing. And that was my father. And that's why I'm so proud. This is why I support the Purple Hearts. This is a date of great significance because on August 7, 1782, George Washington, then the Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Army, awarded the first badge of military merit, the original name of the Purple Heart decoration. The brave men and women who we honor with this Purple Heart monument are part of an exclusive group of people who this country has depended upon to lead the fight for freedom and democracy since the Revolutionary War. I'm so proud to be here today as we dedicate this sacred place that will be known as Henderson Purple Heart Plaza. And I know that as a community, Henderson will continue to honor America's courageous sons and daughters whose actions in times of conflict demonstrate the ideals and greatness of the American people. Thank you so very much for taking the time to participate in today's ceremony. I hope it will be the first of many visits you will make to this special place of remembrance, and that when you're here, you'll reflect on the sacrifices made by those who earned the Purple Heart, and on the freedoms we continue to share as Americans because of heroic actions in defense of our liberty. Thank you.
I'm Dan Shaw, and I represent Ward 2, and I also have the privilege of working with great people like the mayor and Jerry and the great staff and redevelopment. And what an honor it is to be here today, to represent the city and to help dedicate this great park. You know, it's really interesting when you can come to these kinds of ceremonies and recognize the sacrifice that many Americans have given in order that we can have freedom and that we can do all the great things that we enjoy in life. And that's really important, I think, that we recognize that. We have before us a monument that's been nationally recognized in a beautiful park where people can come and reflect on their sons and daughters and husbands and wives and the sacrifice that they have given. And so I think it's important that Henderson is the first Purple Heart city in the state of Nevada. And I think that that's important, that the city stepped up. This city has always been a leader for the veterans, and we want to continue to do that. As Jerry mentioned, George Washington started this tradition by awarding 3 of his troops what later became known as the Purple Heart. And it subsequently was reactivated in about 1931. And today we have over 500,000 veterans that are still alive that have been awarded this award. And I think that's very significant, that we need to make sure that we take care of them and that they have sacrificed greatly for us, which I think is very, very important. I'm a veteran, and so I understand what they have gone through, and I understand the sacrifice that they have made. And I also understand that the city has an obligation to build parks like this to honor them. And I think that it's important that we do honor them, and we don't forget those traditions, and that we don't forget the sacrifice that those people have made. I think it's very, very important that we pass those traditions on to our families, and that we educate them about the sacrifice that our military makes. As we complete this dedication today, I think that it's important that all of us step up and help maintain facilities like this. Our wonderful Parks Director, Sherry, indicated that we'd already had some vandalism here. So we need to speak up when we see things happening. We need to help and maintain these beautiful facilities that we provide for people. You know, it's really interesting because I'm new at this job. I've been here a year, and our staff does a wonderful job because they go all out and they give us these great speaking points. And unfortunately, I'm not very good at reading them, so I tend to talk from my heart and what I think is really critical. And as I look at these men and women behind me, and I think that they have come down here today, and they belong to an organization that has been the driving force that has made this park happen. And I think to myself, how long did that take? Why did it take so long? And what can we do to continue to recognize them and make sure that they're an important part of our community? And we want to continue to do that. So I hope that this stands as a legacy for a long period of time for us, and that we continue to honor these great veterans and what they do for our community, not just during their service while they're in the military, but they continue to serve once they're out. They continue to give service to our community every single day. And we appreciate that, and we want to continue to honor them. So thank you for coming out, and we appreciate all of your efforts.
I'd like to have come back up here our mayor and our council members for the Purple Heart Day proclamation.
Thank you very much. What an honor it is to have this celebration of this new park on Purple Heart Day, and to acknowledge the important partners in our community, those who have fought so hard and who have served and who've made a difference and changed our lives. So on behalf of the City of Henderson, our wonderful employees, and the 310,000 residents of the City of Henderson, I'm so pleased to name this Purple Heart Day in the City of Henderson and to give you this proclamation.
And Mayor, we thank you and all the chapter members. A little hoorah. All right, thank you.
Good morning, and thank you for being here. As a couple of people have mentioned, every family has a story. Let me read the brief thing. Staff Sergeant David Kirkwood Price, United States Army, was awarded the Silver Star for conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity in connection with military operations against an armed hostile force while serving in support of Iraqi freedom in Iraq. Staff Sergeant Price's gallant actions and dedication to duty, without regard to his own life, were in keeping with the highest traditions of military service and reflect great credit upon himself, his unit, and the United States Army. Staff Sergeant Price was promoted to Sergeant First Class before he left the Army, and Sergeant First Class Price is the son of our mayor. And in a very small token of appreciation for what the city has done for our chapter, Sergeant First Class Price's brick is the first brick to be inscribed in this plaza.
We all should know that freedom is not free. We celebrate today as Purple Heart Day in America, which is on August 7th. And it is to honor all veterans who have fought and have been killed in a U.S. conflict from the very beginning, that fought to free America and keep it free. Whereas the Purple Heart was established on August 7th, 1782, during the Revolutionary War, when General George Washington issued an order establishing an honorary badge of distinction.
I'll be very, very quick because I know it's very, very hot. On behalf of Congresswoman Jackie Rosen, we just want to say that we are really honored to have Chapter 730 of the Military Order of the Purple Heart here in this community, as well as Mayor March and the current council for everything that we do to really. One of my favorite phrases of all time is the crimson thread of kinship binds us all. Some of those threads, in my opinion, are a little bit stronger, and I think Mayor March and the current council and Chapter 730 of the Military of the Order of the Purple Heart are those threads. And also, thank you all for coming out. You guys just make the community a better place.
In behalf of Senator Dean Heller and our office, we're very pleased to present you with this certificate of tribute to your chapter, Chapter 730, for the wonderful work you do on behalf of all veterans and also, in particular, combat veterans who have shed their blood for our benefit.
This is the last time I wear a black suit in August. Anyway, I have for you, for your chapter, really. Let me just read it to you. Certificate of Special Congressional Commendation presented to the Harry Grader Military Order of the Purple Heart, Chapter 730, in recognition of the dedication of Purple Heart Plaza, August 7th, 2018. Signed, Congresswoman Dina Titus.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Commander Daniel Peterson and everyone for being here today. My name is Alana Simpson. I'm proud to represent Senator Catherine Cortez Masto here today. It's an honor to be here to recognize and carry on the traditions of our veterans who so bravely sacrifice with the Military Order of the Purple Heart. And I just want to say also, I'm a Coast Guard veteran, and we just celebrated our 228th birthday this past Saturday. Thank you so much for all that you do and for the City Council of Henderson. Thank you very much.
As I told the Cherie, Kate, I don't care, just not late for dinner, right? Governor Sandoval did a proclamation, as he has always done, and our governors in past have done, for Purple Heart Day. But I wanted to say one thing, because your councilman said that the city had an obligation to recognize our Purple Heart veterans. And you know, veterans do a good job of making sure fellow veterans are not forgotten, that we honor the sacrifice and services of our veterans. But not every city has gone the length that Henderson has gone to. When I drove in today and saw the flags, and when I see that your leadership and the city at events everywhere, when I see this lovely monument, on behalf of Nevada's veterans, I just want to say thank you to the City of Henderson. You're amazing. Thank you. And of course, to the men and women of Chapter 730, you two are amazing. And as soon as I get back, I'm going to get a brick for every, for Civil War, World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and our current generation veterans, one of the large ones, to commemorate those losses in each one of the wars. So thank you all very much.
Comrades and honored guests, we have a sincere and heartfelt affection for our Purple Heart comrades who have been lost, as well as for their families who have sacrificed so much. Our comrades from the past to present have served with honor, bravery, courage, and commitment. They shall always be remembered as true heroes and patriots of this great country of ours. The Military Order of the Purple Heart is a service and an exclusive organization organization, that binds us together for several different wars and branches of service. It is for those that we have been awarded the Purple Heart Medal by in the name of the President of the United States for having been killed or wounded in a conflict with the enemy force. Our brothers and sisters have done their best in keeping the principles of George Washington and our founding fathers of this order at heart. Allegiance to our country and our flag, loyalty in the highest, reverence to and their service to veterans, our youth, and others. Now it is only proper, as we begin to close, that we also honor and pay tribute today to all active soldiers, reservists, and those retired who have passed on. Let us have a moment of silence. To those comrades who are now serving our country today, we pray that God will comfort them and keep them safe and bring them at home to us. They are all our comrades, and we should never forget them, and may we keep them in our thoughts and prayers each day. One of the favorite statements of George Washington around August 1776 to his men and women after losing several battles, quote, "The hour is fast approaching on which to honor and success of the Army and the safety of our bleeding country depends. Remember, officers and soldiers, that you are free men and women, fighting for the blessing of liberty and that of your independence." My comrades and honored guests and friends, we must continue our allegiance and loyalty to our country, for America is truly the land of the free and the home of the brave.